You know what's funny? And I mean funny in that cosmic, ironic way that makes you laugh and cry at the same time. The more awake I became, the more I wanted to disappear. Not in a dark way, not in a giving up on life way, but in a way where all the noise, all the games, all the performance of this world just started feeling like a movie I'd already seen 1,000 times. I used to think that enlightenment, awakening, whatever you want to call it, would make me more engaged with the world, more present, more involved. And in a way it did, but not in the way anyone expects, not in the way that looks good on Instagram or makes sense at dinner parties. Here's what nobody tells you about waking up. The more clearly you see, the less you want to participate in the illusion. And this whole world, my friend, this whole civilization we've built, it's running on illusion, it's powered by it, it's made of it. When I look around now, I see people fighting over things that don't exist, chasing dreams that were programmed into them, building monuments to egos that aren't even real. And I'm not judging them. I did it too. I did it for decades. I built an entire empire on being Jim Carrey, the funny guy, the movie star, the success story. And then one day I woke up and realized Jim Carrey is just a character, a really convincing one, but still just a character in a play that never ends. The spiritually awake people, we're disappearing because we've seen behind the curtain. We've seen the wizard. And once you see that it's all smoke and mirrors, once you really see it, you can't unsee it. You can't go back to pretending it's real. You can't get excited about the same things that excite everyone else. It's like this. Imagine you're watching a magic show and you're completely mesmerized by the illusions. The rabbit appearing from the hat, the woman sawed in half, the card tricks that blow your mind. You're on the edge of your seat, totally absorbed in the magic. And then someone shows you how all the tricks work. They take you backstage. They show you the mirrors, the trap doors, the sleight of hand. Now you go back to watch the show. Are you mesmerized anymore? Or are you just watching someone perform techniques you now understand? That's what awakening does. It shows you the techniques. It reveals the mechanics behind the magic. And suddenly, the world loses its grip on you. The people who are deeply asleep, they're still completely absorbed in the show. The drama of politics, the race for money, the quest for fame, the desperate search for love, the fear of death, the whole human drama. It's real to them. It matters. It's everything. And I'm not saying it doesn't matter at all, but when you wake up, you see it differently. You see it as a temporary play, a cosmic game, a dream that we're all agreeing to participate in. And here's where it gets interesting, where it gets to the heart of why we're disappearing. The world doesn't know what to do with people who aren't playing the game anymore. The world is set up for strivers, for achievers, for people who want more, who need more, who are reaching for the next thing. Capitalism needs consumers. Society needs participants. The system needs believers. But the awake person, they're not buying it, literally and figuratively. They're not buying the products that promise happiness. They're not buying the stories about who they should be. They're not buying into the fear, the division, the drama that keeps the whole machine running. I remember when I first started really waking up, people got uncomfortable around me. Friends would say, "Jim, you've changed. You're different now. You're not as fun as you used to be." And they were right. I wasn't as willing to play the game anymore. I wasn't as interested in the surface conversation, the small talk, the pretending that we're talking about something when we're really talking about nothing. The awake person wants depth, real conversation, authentic connection. And most of the world is terrified of that. Most people would rather talk about the weather, their jobs, what they watched on Netflix, anything except the real questions. Who are we? Why are we here? What's actually happening beneath all this noise? So we disappear. Not dramatically. Not with some big announcement. We just quietly step back. We stop going to the parties that drain us. We stop engaging with the arguments that lead nowhere. We stop trying to convince people of anything. Because we've realized something profound, everyone is exactly where they need to be. Everyone is on their own journey, and you can't wake someone up who's not ready to wake up. It's like trying to explain color to someone who's been blind their whole life. You can describe it, but until they see it themselves, it's just words, just concepts, just another story. The disappearing isn't about being better than anyone. It's not about superiority or enlightenment ego. In fact, the more awake you become, the more you realize there's no such thing as better or worse. There's just different stages of the same journey. Different levels of the same dream. But here's the thing. The world we've built, it's loud. It's aggressive. It's demanding. It wants your attention, your energy, your life force. It wants you scrolling, consuming, producing, achieving, proving, performing. It never stops. The noise never stops. And the awake person, they need silence. They need space. They need to hear themselves think, to feel themselves feel, to just be without the constant input. So we withdraw. We create boundaries. We protect our energy like it's sacred. Because it is sacred. We stop giving ourselves away to things that don't nourish us. We stop pretending we care about things we don't actually care about. We stop living the life everyone expects us to live and start living the life that's actually ours. I've watched so many truly awake people over the years, and almost all of them have made the same move. They've simplified their lives. They've removed the excess. They've gotten quieter. They've stepped out of the spotlight even when they could have stayed in it. Even when the world wanted them to stay in it. Because here's what we've discovered. The real treasures aren't out there in the world. They're in here, in the silence, in the stillness, in the space between thoughts. The real joy isn't in achieving or acquiring, it's in being. Just being. Without the story. Without the struggle. Without the constant need to become something other than what we already are. The world calls this depression. The world calls this giving up. The world says we're wasting our potential, throwing away our gifts, being selfish or lazy or irresponsible, but the world doesn't understand. The world is still dreaming, and we've woken up in the middle of the dream and realized it's just a dream. This doesn't mean life doesn't matter. It doesn't mean we don't love people or care about suffering or want to contribute. In fact, the awake person often cares more deeply, loves more fully, sees suffering more clearly than those who are asleep. But we care differently. We love differently. We engage differently. We're not trying to save the world anymore because we realize the world doesn't need saving. The world is exactly what it's supposed to be. It's a classroom, a playground, a stage for consciousness to experience itself in every possible form. The suffering, the joy, the darkness, the light, it's all part of the curriculum. It's all part of the show. So what do? We live simply. We love deeply. We speak truthfully. We create from the overflow, not from the need to prove ourselves. We help when we're called to help, not because we think we should. We participate when participation feels authentic, not because we're afraid of being left out. And yes, we disappear from the conventional world. From the networking events and the social media performances and the career ladders and the status games. We disappear from the arguments about politics and religion and who's right and who's wrong. We disappear from the constant doing and achieving and becoming. But we're not really disappearing. We're just finally appearing as what we actually are. We're shedding the costumes, dropping the masks, stepping out of the characters we've been playing. And what's left when you remove all of that? Just presence, just awareness. Just this eternal moment, happening now, as it always has, as it always will. The irony is that the world thinks we're becoming less social, less productive, less involved, less ambitious. But from where we're standing, we're becoming more authentic, more present, more aligned with what's real, more connected to the source of everything. We're disappearing from the dream and waking up to reality. And reality, my friend, is so much more beautiful, so much more profound, so much more alive than the dream ever was. So, if you're one of us, if you're feeling that pull to step back, to simplify, to disappear from the noise and the chaos and the constant demands, don't fight it. Don't think something's wrong with you. You're not broken. You're not failing. You're waking up. And the awake naturally move toward silence, toward simplicity, toward truth. Let them call it whatever they want. Let them say you've changed, you've lost your edge, you're not the same person anymore. They're right. You're not the same person. You're not a person at all. You're the awareness in which the person appears. You're the space in which the whole world happens. And that space, that awareness, it doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. It doesn't need to be seen or understood or validated by the world. It's complete in itself. It always has been. That's why we're disappearing, not because we're running away, but because we finally found what we've been searching for all along, and it was never out there in the world. It was always right here, in the quiet, in the stillness, in the sacred, ordinary miracle of simply being alive. Welcome to the disappearance. It's the most beautiful vanishing act you'll ever experience.